On the seventh day, God rested, and Cedar worked. It's Cedar on Sundays.
It is Sunday, May 27th, 2007. Welcome to week 2 and a full 3 hours of Cedar on Sundays. This week, Bush held a press conference and kept up his fear-mongering, really just out of habit at this point.
We are under threat. Now, some may say, well, he's just saying that, get people to pay attention to him.
You took the words right out of my mouth, George. Meanwhile, former Department of Justice staffer Monica Goodling answered some hard questions.
Was there any part of that conversation that made you uncomfortable?
Yes.
And she comes through with some hard answers.
Different people did make different comments at different times.
Nice one. Meanwhile, emotions ran high on the floor of Congress during debates over the Iraq supplemental funding bill. The Dems may be weak when it comes to fighting Bush, but Republican House Minority Leader John Boehner on the floor Thursday seems to be weak-willed when offered a stiff one.
When are we going to stand up and take him on? When are we going to defeat him?
Mr. President, care to respond?
I would hope that people would be more sober in how they address these important issues.
Tell me about it! All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. It is Sunday, and it is Cedar on Sundays. Joining us today, of course, as he will every week, is Bill Scher, online editor at Campaign for America's Future, a blogger at Liberal Oasis, and author of Wait, Don't Move to Canada, here for our Weekend Watchdog segment. Were your questions asked? And later in the program, we'll have our panel. David Sirota will be joining us, contributor to In These Times, blogger at davidsirota.com, author of Hostile Takeover, How Big Money and Corruption Conquered Our Government and How We Take It Back. Victoria Jones, managing editor and White House correspondent for Talk Radio News Service at talkradionews.com. Steve Clemens, executive vice president of the New America Foundation and editor of the blog The Washington Note, will be joining us. And finally, to mark the 5th anniversary, a day late, but we only do the show on Sundays, folks. Markos Moulitsas will be here 5 years and a day after he started his Uber blog, Daily Kos. Let's get right into some comedy, shall we, folks? From one of our chief comedy writers here at the Sam Cedar Show juggernaut, Cedar on Sundays, I guess I should say. Well, it's part of the greater Cedar juggernaut. This is number 7.
Moments ago, you said that al-Qaeda attacked us before we were in Iraq. Since then, Iraq has become much less stable. Al-Qaeda has used it as a recruiting tool, apparently with some success. So what would you say to those who would argue that what we've done in Iraq has simply enhanced al-Qaeda and made the situation worse?
Oh, so in other words, the option would have been just let Saddam Hussein stay there. The question is, should we not have let Saddam Hussein in power? And the answer is absolutely not. Saddam Hussein was an enemy of the United States. He'd attacked his neighbors. He was, paying Palestinian suicide bombers. He would have been, if he would have defied. And by the way, cheating on the UN oil for sanctions program, oil for food program. No, I don't buy it. I don't buy that this world would be a better place with Saddam Hussein in power, and particularly if. And I'm sure the Iraqis would agree with that. See, that's the kind of attitude. He says, okay, let's let him live under a tyrant. And I just don't agree, I obviously thought he had weapons. He didn't have weapons. The world thought he had weapons. It was a surprise to me that he didn't have the weapons of mass destruction that everybody thought he had, but he had the capacity at some point in time.
Whoops.
To make weapons.
What are you going to do?
It would have been a really dangerous world if you had the Iranians trying to develop a nuclear weapon and Saddam Hussein competing for a nuclear weapon. You can imagine what the mentality of the Middle East would have been like. And so the heart of your question is, shouldn't you have left Saddam Hussein in power? And the answer is no. And now that that's really the crux of it. And let me finish, please. I'm on a roll here.
I'm on a roll.
And so now that we have, Does it make sense to help this young democracy survive? And the answer is yes.
Yes, I'm on a
For
roll.
a variety of reasons.
See, I'm on a roll. All right, don't stop me now, because give me 30 more seconds to keep talking here, and I swear to God, I'll be down in my underwear. I'll pull my pants off. Look at me. Look at me, my wee-wee's hanging out. I'm on a roll here.
President Bush, there are some other questions.
Don't stop me, because I'm on a roll. Hold on for a second.
You might want to get off
Look at
that
this. Look at this. I'm standing on my hands.
President Bush.
Anybody watch it? What you're trying to tell me? My wee-wee. Look at my wee-wee, everybody. That's what would happen if Saddam Hussein. Okay, let me rephrase the question. I really think he's. I mean, this guy is just moving from complete irrelevance to full-on nut job. Listen to this clip here, where he's trying to. This is just astonishing here. This is. He's asked where Bin Laden is, and he really can't come up with an answer. And he's really struggling to find out what his point is. Let's put the point-o-meter on this one, shall we? We will point out where his points are, just so you get the point. You understand? Okay, because I'm on a roll. Here, let's do this. This is number 10.
Mr. President, yesterday you discussed Osama bin Laden's plans to turn Iraq into a terrorist sanctuary. What do you think your own reaction would have been 5 years ago had you been told that towards the end of your term he would still be at large with that kind of capability from Iraq, no less? Mm-hmm. And why, can you tell the American people, is he still on the run? Why is he so hard to catch?
I would say that 5 years ago, like I said, we're going to pursue him, and we are pursuing him.
You can run, but
and
you
he's
can't
hiding.
hide. Oh, you can't.
He is in a remote region of the world. If I knew precisely where he is, we would take the appropriate action to bring him to justice. He is attempting to establish a base of operations in Iraq. He hasn't established a base in operations. My points yesterday were, here was his intentions, but thankfully, of the 3 people I named, all of them no longer are a part of his operation. My point is that I was making the point, Jim, as I'm sure you recognize that if we leave, they follow us. And my point was that Osama bin Laden was establishing an external cell there, or trying to, and he's been unable to do it. Precisely my point.
That's a lot of points. So far, it's bin Laden got more points than I do. I got 0. All right, when we come back, Bill Scher will be here to answer the question, were your questions answered or even asked this week on the Sunday Bobblehead shows. We'll be right back.
Hey, conservatives, want to get some lies off your chest?
Our record on the economy is strong.
I don't think anybody anticipated the breach of the levees.
We value the Constitution.
Call Sam Cedar at 866-303-2270. Sam Cedar, only on Air America Radio.